So today we come with exciting news, and this is from the kind of solo Bitcoin in mining world. For those who missed it, something epic happened today at Bitcoin Park. So for those that don't know what Bitcoin Park is, it's a community supported campus in Nashville focused on grassroots freedom tech adoption. So mainly focused on cryptocurrency in general, but all kind of tech as well, surrounded by that. The guys from Pod 256, so this is a weekly podcast about Bitcoin and the mining behind Bitcoin. You can check these all out on Twitter and on YouTube if you want. And they run a 256, so obviously going based off the SHA-256 Foundation, organized a donation hash rate event, which people could donate their hash rate for a few hours to the pool, where they were solo mining. If they hit a block, the foundation would keep the reward and support the developers using the reward, and they actually did mine a block live on stream. So here is them announcing it and a little bit more about the foundation, and I really do want to kind of push an emphasis on these type of mining. Obviously we have the BitAxe open source thing that we really support on the channel, but these type of events where people can actually gain from pointing the hash rate, it is kind of like donating to charity basically, because you're donating the electricity in the form of hash rate to try find the block, and it's all going to a good cause basically, which we'll see down below. But the main reason that I'm covering it today is because it's a big thing within crypto mining to kind of decentralize the mining structure across the whole Bitcoin network, which we'll kind of get into later on. But this is just one of the many ways that it's kind of happening, and I'll give my thoughts on how that can change within the future, because we're seeing a heavy centralization of miners currently on Bitcoin and on other cryptocurrencies. So it says here they've held their first foundation annual fundraiser. Today we raised money to support the open Bitcoin mining development. We've opted to have supporters send their hash rate to our self-hosted pool running on a FutureBit Apollo, and we actually solved a block. So this is the FutureBit. It's technically a miner and a node all set in one. So it's become very popular, but just because you can mine to your own node, and that kind of cuts out all of the pools. And even if you're mining to a pool solo, there's still an interaction between the block and the pool, so there could be some confusion and it could be stolen at some point. I'm not saying that it will be, but this is kind of like the best and easiest way to make sure that none of that happens is through these. I don't have an affiliate link, but if you want to go check them out, I'm sure that there's a bunch of videos. I know Serpent X Tech has videos on these, so you can go check that out. I think he has an affiliate link as well for them. So you can see inside here, built-in power supply, and up to 10 terahash of hash power, and as low as 28 watts per terahash efficiency, 400 watts of power. So you keep scrolling down here, it kind of just looks like this. I think it's a great plug-and-play type of thing, where you are actually mining to your own node. So you can have a full node here, miner plus full node plus Linux desktop system. You could obviously set one of these up for way cheaper. This is just an easier way for you to do all of it. If you don't know how to set up nodes and stuff like that, then this might be a great thing to just start you off in Bitcoin mining and kind of teach you about nodes running and how that works, and get you into the information in pool mining and stuff like that, how that differs to solo mining. So I think overall they're great, and there are a bunch of other ones out there kind of like this that we're seeing popping up. So the event ran for almost 10 hours, and at one point there was 1.12 exahash from 350 different entities. At the time the block was found, there was 881 petahash pointed at the pool. The winning nonce came from 1 megawatts HQ miners. In total, they raised 3.146 to support the 256 Foundation projects. We wouldn't have been able to do this without the amazing community support, and so you can go follow these people. Obviously FutureBit is in there as well. So just to get down to it, this is kind of like what I want to make people aware of, mainly what the focus of the video is on, is the 256 Foundation's mission to simply dismantle the proprietary mining empire to make Bitcoin and freedom tech accessible to anyone. Our foundation operates with more of a bounty model than more traditional approach. We have identified 5 critical projects to guide our work. So basically the foundation is providing money to kind of further decentralize the Bitcoin network and kind of push out the big pools, the big miners, the big mining farms, the big mining ASIC producers and stuff like that. So kind of going back down to grassroots mining with, how everyone used to solo mine. There never used to be any pools when Bitcoin first started, and then it cropped up that people were using pools and stuff like that, and it's kind of developed across. But I think we're going to see the pendulum swing backwards, as we've seen, a lot of people, even with this, that is a lot of hash rate to have to find one block, but it's still very, very low odds with that amount of hash rate, I believe, because you have a 1 in, I think, 800 or 900 chance with 1.1 exahash. And that's still a very low chance to hit a block at that point, but still even lower at 881 petahash. So even now, a lot of the pools out there are also servicing Antpool, so they all feed into it at some point. They're just proprietary. And that kind of poses a risk for cryptocurrency in general if they hold a lot of the hash rate. So going back down to here, here's the 5 critical projects that guide in our work. Ember 1, 100 watt hashboard standard that can support different ASICs. So I encourage you to go check these out because they are very interesting things to look at in terms of, how the future of mining is happening, and maybe you can get into one early, buy some of them and support the open sourcing of the hardware. Then next, the Libre board, which is a versatile control board for the Ember 1 and beyond. So down here, so maybe it can be used in different applications. Magina firmware, which is Linux-based multi-driver compatible firmware with Stratum v2 client support. Hydropool, a one-click deployable mining pool package that removes the friction from spinning up a pool. So an easy kind of way to open up pools. And then Blockwatcher, a Bitcoin mining analytics platform to help inform smarter mining decisions. So a bunch of them out there that you can go and support. And I believe that this block is going towards them. When we actually look, we can see the block here. So this is 20 hours ago when they hit it. And you can see total is 3.146. And then you have some total fees that are added on top of that. This is the actual block. And you can see where the block was paid. So this was a newly generated coin paid out into this address. And I'm assuming they're just going to divide that up between the 5 that we see here. And hopefully that helps them to create their goal of their project. So bringing it back to kind of like the pool dominance, we can see it right here, basically as is displayed. There's basically nothing else apart from Antpool, Foundry, via BTC, F2 pool, and some of these are also just auxiliary pools for Antpool. If we just keep going, it's all the same pools every single time, and it is a problem with hash rate. As the hash rate needs to climb, more people need to go into the pools, and to get the best out of their Bitcoin mining, they need to go to a pool which has a lot of hash rate because that guarantees that it will hit blocks. So depending on the payout method, a lot of people are going to flock to the pool that has the most hash rate because there's guaranteed blocks on that pool. But as you can see, it's only coming from the top 5 or 6 pools that are actually out there and not really much else from any other pools. And it's kind of like a monopoly at this point, and it is heavily centralized to just these top 5 or 6 pools. We can even see it here in the distribution. You have Foundry Digital, and then Antpool via BTC, F2 Pool, and Binance.com. So they're basically hitting blocks on the regular. As we can see here, there's Mara as well, so Marathon Digital. They have 47.4 exahash. And then I don't think the actual future bit would show up here because it's not technically a pool. But you can see that these are getting them pretty regularly. So 53 minutes, and then by the time you hit down here, you have 1 block every hour, and then there's not even 1 block every hour as you keep going down. So there's 3 there, which is actually very lucky, I believe. And then as we go down, pretty much nobody is hitting blocks down here. And one of the main problems that everyone talks about is the block time on Bitcoin being so slow that every 10 minutes you get a chance to find a block, whereas on other forks or coins, the block times are reduced, so there's more opportunity to actually get blocks, and pools can take advantage of that way better. But that's just how we are in the state of crypto mining at the moment. But as I said, I do feel hopeful for the future, and with BitAxe, that is one of the major ones that are coming through. I also want to recommend other ones just because BitAxe is, I believe, the only open source one. If it's not, correct me in the comments below. But there are a bunch of solo miners that you can get. There's Marslander, there's the Gamma right there, BitAxe, NerdMiner 2 there. So this is a easy miner laptop kit with 3 compact F laptop combo, Bitcoin and XMR. Then Avalon Nano 3, I heard that these are very good as well. Gecko Science, Distributor, USB Solo Miner. Personally wouldn't go for that. But you can see there's a bunch of solo miners that you can go for. And we have seen some of these actually hit blocks in the past. It hasn't been very regular. It's maybe we see once or twice a year. But I think BitAxe is becoming a bigger thing than a lot of these solo miners just because it's providing a lot more hash rate. And even with these pseudo smaller miners like the Avalano that can produce 4 terahash, I think it leads to more decentralization of the hash rate. Remember, it only technically is decentralized if they hit a block. So the more miners of these that you can get out there, the more solo people that are solo mining to their own node you can get out there, that is going to decentralize it a lot more than what the network is currently at right now. Same goes for a lot of other cryptocurrencies or proof of work cryptos. And the more of them that come on the network, the more technical in chance probability that one of them will find blocks. I think as we go on into the future, we're going to see this happening more often, maybe one every month, one every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, depending on how many are sold. But as this hardware gets out there, it's probably going to become cheaper to buy and run. And hopefully in the future, we will see a lot more of these hit blocks. And that's kind of the whole purpose of these smaller miners, to get it out there to decentralize the hash on the network. So let me know your thoughts on this. If you want to go check this out, as I said, you can go check it out on X, or I believe they have a YouTube channel. There is a video out there of them actually hitting the block live on stream. I'm sure it's on this Twitter account somewhere. So make sure you like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and go and follow everyone that I mentioned at the start of the video.